You're welcome back to the program. Now we'll move on to some other stories where police at Bawku and the Upper East region are on a manhunt for leaders of some youth who vandalized properties in the town, including the armory of the District Police Command. 3 persons sustained injuries when the police clashed with the angry youth. The clash is said to have been caused by a misunderstanding between some clerics and the police. District Chief Executive for Bawku, Isaka Bukari, tells Joy News calm has returned to the area.
That are being managed by some malams in some communities, where they have children coming from Burkina, Sankansi, Togo, and other places. So it's common that they have this big Tintamanto that they have brought the people to the police station. These boys are involved in those stealing.
Hello, sir. I lost you briefly. If you could just repeat that part for me about
I said
the boys in the school.
There is some boys in an informal kind of education, Arabic education, that is organized by some malams in their houses. And these boys, most of the times, have these containers that they go about. The description is that if you want to know them, when you get to Bawku, Zabila, and at times Volga, you see them with a big tin tomato container. They go about begging on some days. Mostly it's like Fridays and Saturdays that they get the opportunity to get to town and do that. So the police have observed that these people are engaged in this act. These people who are doing it are engaged in the stealing. There are some few stealing that is associated to them, and they have arrested few of them. So yesterday they got 2 of them. And when they arrested them, 3 of them, when they arrested them, they went to they took them to the Malam's house to actually find out what was happening. And from there, they also brought the Malam and 2 other Malams. So the information got to me about it, and the Malam is one of the permanent, most respectful Malam within the municipality. So I called the police and asked that they shouldn't detain the Malam, they should leave him, so that today we could meet to look at those aspects of the issue. The Malam was released with all the children and they went. Only for this morning, a group of people mobilized to the police station and wanted to vandalize the police station. And in an attempt to do, the police also wanted to defend. So there was some guy firing, that was a warning shot that was done by the police. But for now, the place is very calm. Right now, I'm at the hospital, just to find out whether there were some casualties as a result of the gunshots. And also, there are even some, when they hear gunshots, they fell down, and those with blood pressure and whatever. So I've just come to find out that.
Well, let's get the latest on the ground in Bawku. We're joined on the line by local journalist IBRAHIM AZUMAH. IBRAHIM, what's the mood in Bawku today?
Yes, good morning. Good morning to listeners all over the country in Accra. For now, and this morning, we thank God that the environment or the atmosphere is calm and peaceful. As I speak now, I'm at the Central Business Center, the community center, and I've been to the main market. You can see buying and selling going on. Unfortunately, if I'd had a camera, I would have just taken what is happening here. Then you will see that, yes, exactly what I'm telling you is what is prevailing here. Because journalists are told to report exactly what they see, not to exaggerate. So, and the police also did well, and the military as well. When the whole thing happened yesterday, they went around to make sure that other communities are updated or informed or sensitized, or the awareness was created for them to know that it wasn't a tribal conflict, it was misunderstanding, which you were already told. And we thank God that there were no loss of lives. There were 3 people who sustained some gunshot injuries.
Now, what do we know? IBRAHIM, what do we know about the whereabouts of those 3 persons who sustained injuries yesterday?
I can't hear you.
Where are those 3 persons who sustained injuries yesterday?
What have they?
Where are they now?
You mean the injuries?
The persons who sustained injuries.
They have all been discharged, because yesterday, personally and physically, I went to the Presbyterian Hospital and them and even granted some of them an interview. And by the close of yesterday, they were all discharged. And even this morning, I spoke to one of the ladies who had a gunshot beneath the umbrella in the name of Safaru Abdullahi, whom I've even asked to see her in the house, see how she's faring. But for now, all of them have been discharged and they are all doing well, because that is the follow-up I've done this morning.
Very well. Now let's get into the cause of the clash itself. What happened?
Well, yes. It's about a man who has his children and is teaching them. And, when they are doing this, they are karate or makaranta. They do it in the evening, and during the day, they are asked to go out according to, with all respect, virtues, to do some begging or armed begging. And they'll come back to support the malam and their own feeding or upkeep. So the police saw it as an eyesore, and sometimes these children come around the police station and even to beg for food. So the police commander himself, in the person of Tefito and his men, they used to even buy food and feed them. So one time they realized that no, these children is being infringed upon, so they had to find a way of liberating them, so that in future they also have their life to live on. So they tried to take a picture of them, and one time take them and trace them to where their malams were. So they were inviting this malam to come, so they'll find a way forward, an amicable solution, whether the children could be sent back to their parents or there could be a different way, so that in future they also become responsible citizens. But the youth of this particular malam or this area, especially Pasalaman and Akariyama, took it as the malam was being arrested and they went around it. So this is all that happened. It wasn't a tribal conflict.
Now we know that the police had in custody this malam when at a time the violence broke out. What has happened to the malam now?
The malam is free. He was just invited. And when it happened, he went home. So they made sure that he was also safe. You see, that people were trying to link it to tribal conflict, especially between the Kota. That wasn't the case. And I can say that I have to say kudos to the commander and his men, because he took the lead. I could see him at the frontier, making sure that peace was created, that it wasn't a tribal conflict. It was just a hitch, which they were making sure that people...
Now, Ibrahim, have any arrests been made?
So far, yesterday, 3 people were arrested, but as I've not done my checks, I don't want to put the wrong information to the public domain. So when I'm done, I'll...
Very well. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Ibrahim AZUMAH joined us from Bawku. He's a local journalist that has been giving us an update on the situation in the area. Now, let's come back to the national capital, Accra, where the fire services began investigations into a fire that destroyed some properties at the Kantamanto market. A shipping container with bales of used clothing was destroyed in the fire on Sunday morning. Samuel Amoa is chairman of the Kantamanto Traders Association.
There's no light there. You can go there and see for yourself. There's no light there. There was no touch of fire. And there was no food joint there, and there's no gas cylinder around. And the container was also locked while there was fire inside. We have a pipe bomb there, so it was easier there. And people sleep around here. That's the open security here. And so they were taking buckets and everything. Everyone who was doing washing and everything, Sunday, they used to do washing. So everything was taken from them, and they started to put fire. They called me and asked them to call the fire service. Yes, personally, I asked them, no, call the fire service. They thought it was a minor thing. But I asked them. And when I reached here, the fire service people were there, and within 30 minutes, they were able to quench the fire.
Now, Acting Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Timothy Osafo Efum, says investigations should establish the real cause of the fire.
Around 11:22, reporting of a fire incident in this market. So we quickly dispatched the first appliance, that's the fire tender, to this scene. And we got here at 11:28. When we got here, we realized it was a container shop that is burning, a container that is used to store second-hand clothing. Yes, we are still investigating, and we will come out of the cause. We don't want to speculate as at now. We are still investigating, and we have some clues that we are following, so we'll get back to you.
does one teacher take care of 300 school children? Well, that's the situation confronting one man in a community in the Ashanti region. Now, members of this community, who are predominantly farmers, are worried that their children are not getting the education they need. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
Total population in Ghana living in rural areas, access to education is a major problem. With dilapidated infrastructure and sometimes a complete lack of it, children living in rural areas must persevere in their pursuit of education.
I want to become a doctor.
Why?
I want to help my fathers and my mother. I want to become a future teacher.
The stories of these students are true testimonies of the challenges that peoples in rural areas face.
Yes, we don't have teachers, and we don't have water and doctor, hospital.
These children were born and raised here at Nyamiama in the Afram Plains. Guardians and parents, a few of them having had a bit of schooling, believe education can change everything, and so are working hard to give their children the best they can afford.
If God bless, they will make teachers. Some of them will teach the children, some of them will come and help the community to get what the people want to.
Life in the rural area isn't easy for these children. Some walk several kilometers to school only to get there to study under these structures. These students are not like their counterparts in the cities. Shoes are a luxury and new clothes a dream. They have to support their parents, whether through farming or petty trading.
They have been sharing their ideas and their problems to me, like the nature of the community, the nature of the environment delay them in the morning activities before they come to school. Because when they break, they have to deal with their parents, do certain activities like water, go and fetch water, look after their brothers and sisters, even at times animals, before they will come to school. Then maybe time against them for the activities in the school.
Albert is the only teacher here responsible for more than 300 students. His endeavor to educate this entire community is severely hampered.
Being one person, handling them, there are over 300 and above students, and I'm the only person, and then the other teacher who is with me is not staying here, stay at Kumau.
The challenges of these students are numerous.
We didn't have uniforms and water. We didn't have shoes and us.
Despite these challenges, head teacher Albert Mabelba believes the students have a promising future.
I'm living with them and I know they are intelligent by nature, but I, as a teacher with them, I've seen that like I get my colleague teachers with me, enough teachers to handle them, these children will do even better than what they are taking.
This optimism is shared by parents and guardians.
The tailors, some of them will make doctors, some of them will make teachers, some of them will make, if God bless, they want to make militaries and DCs.
The aspirations of these students are heartwarming, but until interventions come their way, it will be hard attaining their life desires under these conditions.
Ahead here on the program is some business news. Do stay.